Okay legends, it's here! Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart review has finally landed and I'm here to tell you how good, how awesome, it just won't do, how legendary this game actually is. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I'll be referring to going forward as Rift Apart because it's just a mouthful, for me, has redefined the platform genre, platform gaming. You would think that's a tall order considering all the other games within the genre, but Insomniac Games have done just that. What originally seemed like a gimmick became an integral part of the game and opened up new ways of gaming. The instant loading of dimensions was amazing to experience, but I digress. Let's slow down a bit and talk about the game some. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, yes, I can see the irony, I'm fully aware of what I just said a moment ago, but the full name contextually is required here, is the 16th installment in the Ratchet and Clank series, and is the sequel to Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, not the reboot that arrived not long ago. Rift Apart, unlike the other PS5 games, is solely exclusive to PS5. Yes, I'm aware of Returnal. There is no PS4 version here like Miles Morales, for example. This is Sony's first true next-gen experience. Now you can see why I skipped Returnal. From their first party dev teams, and boy oh boy does it show. There is stuff being done here like the dimension shifting, which I feel just wouldn't be possible on previous gen, and even if it were, it would be crippled with loading screens. So just know that this game goes above and beyond and makes the notion of this being a PS5 exclusive live up to that standard. The story begins when Dr. Nefarious steals the Dimensionator and tries to use it to find a dimension where, finally, he always wins. I know, typical bad guy, right? Being Dr. Nefarious, he damages, albeit accidentally, the fabric of space and time. Who would have guessed? After travelling through several dimensional rifts, Clank eventually arrives at a dimension where he meets Rivet, who refers to Dr. Nefarious as Emperor Nefarious. Naturally, there is more to this, but essentially Rivet and Clank must then reunite with Ratchet, defeat Nefarious's minions and put an end to his nefarious plot. What conspires next is a journey as a pair of Lombaxes try to save their friends, bring the worlds back to order, and take Nefarious back to his own realm. But can Ratchet pass up the opportunity to meet more of his kind, and what of Rivet? The story is well told and covers some difficult subjects like abandonment and the willingness to belong. Simple in nature yet deep and meaningful, adding enough flair to make the story more than integral but fundamental to the experience. You get to play as both Ratchet and Rivet, though both characters have their own story and their own characteristics, their own attitudes. Ultimately they play the same, with just the character design being the difference. At face value you may think this is a bad thing, but it's not, it's actually a good thing. It means you can retain weapons and playstyles all while enjoying the banter between the characters, Ratchet, Clank, Rivet and Kit. Rift Apart retains elements of previous Ratchet and Clank games, from gunplay, collection of bolts for secrets, upgradable weapons, which is awesome, and gadgets. Of course, one can't continue without talking about the crazy weapons on offer, from razor blades, turning your enemies to green bushes while being hosed, rocket launchers, ice cannons, black hole capable weapons, and more. This game's weapons are so diverse, wacky, crazy, brilliant, all at the same time. I just couldn't get enough of them. Ratchet has 4 new weapons in this game: the burst pistol, which is pretty damn awesome, the shatter bomb, which you will be using more and more, the enforcer, and the topiary sprinkler. The Shatter Bomb is an explosive weapon similar to the fusion grenade. The Enforcer is a double-barrel shotgun resembling the shot cannon, also my favourite weapon in the game. It's my absolute go-to because it absolutely shreds, and best of all, it's insanely fun to use. The Enforcer uses the DualSense controller's adaptive triggers to perfection to give tension. If the player holds the finger down halfway, you can feel it with the actual trigger anyway. You can fire 1 barrel of the actual shotgun, or 2 if you pull it all the way down, and it makes the world of difference. The topiary sprinkler resembles the mini turret glove, but instead shoots bolts of ice and sprouts plants around itself. Amazing crowd control, and one that never gets old, and you can even use this on bosses. That is how cool it is. It physically freezes them in place while you've got this little hose that's watering them down as you completely go to town on them. absolutely crazy. The ability to switch so quickly between weapons also was a stroke of genius, really added to the fluid gameplay. Naturally, the biggest new feature is the ability to jump between rifts, and man does this work amazingly well. In fact, scrap that, it's genre defining. I know I keep saying this, but it just is, and it should be commended. Being able to get from point A to B instantly, changing dimensions without loading, is something you really need to experience, and throughout my whole time playing the game, it never gets old, and that's the beauty of this game. Most games get repetitive, but with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, yes, I've said it again, it doesn't get old. Like in the other Ratchet games, there are scripted segments, but even these were pushed to the next level. The rail grinding segment where you were trying to fix the fixer was something I will remember for a very long time. Ratchet has also gained another skill from his previous game. He now has a move in which he can dash while strafing. This is an amazing ability. It actually adds even more to the gameplay, allowing him to rapidly move to the side or backwards. He does this with a new glove gadget called the Rift Tether. It's pretty awesome. It's so simple, but just adds so much to the experience. This also allows Ratchet to rapidly travel forwards in space by using pre-existing yellow rifts, which enlarge when the reticule is focused on them. There is so much you can say about this game and still not run out of great things to say. Rift Apart features both entirely new planets as well as an alternate dimension of planets from previous games, which were, in my opinion, a great homage being played there. The most impressive thing about Rift Apart traveling between dimensions is a seamless transition with no load screens, like absolutely none. It's so beautiful to see something of this magnitude done to this level of perfection. I mean, at one point in the story, you come to a bar where you have a jukebox and you can select music from and actually dance with it. It doesn't add any real value to the experience other than being a cool Easter egg and something cool to see and experience. I mean, it even has the Carlton dance. I mean, just come on. It's got the Transylvania dance. It's just really, really cool. They are just hilarious, and it just shows how much love and care went into this game. I mean, they even have an arena mode, for crying out loud, which will keep you entertained as you try and earn the cool rewards they have to offer. Definitely, you know, this game just delivers from every angle. The DualSense itself is magnificent, from quirky little sounds to notifications regarding your health dropping to 50%, to ambience noises all coming from the controller. The vibration effects on chimes and pings feel like you're actually holding said crystals in your hand. It's a technological marvel what Sony did with the controller, and it doesn't cease to impress. In fact, it continues to surprise me more and more when I see developers actually utilizing the controller to its fullest extent. Though Astro Boy still remains the title for being the best showcasing the DualSense, Rift Apart is not far behind at all, and that is saying something. That is saying a lot about how much effort they put in just to the controller. It makes the world of difference when you're grinding on the rails. You could feel the rails in your hand. It's like you were there. It really adds that extra dimension to your gaming, and it's something that is exclusively only possible on the PlayStation because of its controller. And when the controller was first announced, people were saying, oh, who's going to use it? How is it going to be used? It seems like a gimmick. But in reality, it's the next generation leap for gaming, and it makes the game that bit better. It makes the experience that bit better. And Ratchet & Clank, being an amazing game on its own, didn't need anything else to propel it. But the controller support, additionally, just pushes it to new heights. In-game sounds and music complement each other really well. The voice acting is on point, and the ability to play in 60 FPS as an absolute godsend. 30 FPS really should not be a thing. However, at 4K 30, the game looks stunning, absolutely amazing. Just a shame the frame rate to me makes it unplayable. Yes, I'm aware console gaming has been at 30 FPS for quite some time, but at the end of the day, since I've moved over to PC gaming, the fact is 60 FPS is the pretty much norm for me, sometimes going to 120, cutting that straight down to 30. Me personally, I can actually see it, and it's stuttery and janky, and it's something that I just can't get behind anymore. It has to be 60 FPS. So I'm willing to take that performance hit in terms of visual clarity for that 60 FPS performance. And with Ratchet & Clank, this isn't something I would hold as a negative towards the experience. 60 FPS option is available with ray tracing, and if you're playing this, that's the option you want to go with personally. I wouldn't recommend going with a 4K 30, go with the performance ray tracing, 60 FPS, and you will have a whale of a time. Overall, what I can say about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, yes, I've done it again, is this. If you have a PS5, buy this game immediately. At 12 to 15 hours of gameplay, it's worth the retail asking price. If you don't have a PS5, find one, even if it's just for this game. It's not every day you come across a game that changes the formula, redefines the genre, and sets a new standard so high that it will be hard to replicate. Sure, the game had a few bugs here and there, and quite honestly is the only reason this is missing a perfect 10 for me. However, they were not bad enough to knock it below 9, and it's why I'm sticking with a very well and earned 9.5 out of 10. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart introduces and welcomes all who dare to traverse the rifts to the next generation of gaming. This, ladies and gents, boys and girls, is a must buy. Make sure you go out and play this game because it is absolutely worth your time. Thanks for watching my review on Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.